Now there are various types of synthesizers, but the four major types are additive, subtractive, FM or frequency modulation, and wavetable. Now FM is a whole new world altogether in itself and requires a different video altogether, which I'll be covering in near future. But for the sake of this video, let's stick to additive and subtractive synthesis and understand what are those, what are the key differences, because these are the most widely used synthesizers out there. And this requires my amazing drawing skills so that we can understand this visually. So let's jump in. Alright peeps, so here we are with our drawing sheet and a pen and some noodling here and there. So sorry for that, apologies, I'm not a good sketcher, but you'll get the point of what I'm trying to say. So let's just first understand what is a subtractive synthesizer. It's the most commonly used type of synthesis which you can find in most analog and digital synthesizers out there. So this is a saw wave, and if you play a saw wave, it generates a sound. This wave is rich in harmonics, so in a frequency range, the saw wave with its various harmonics would look like this. Now let's take a filter, in this case, which essentially helps carve out certain harmonics of this waveform, which changes the spectral content of the original sound. So by modulating the cutoff filter, we carve out this end of the harmonics. And we get a sound like this. So a subtractive synth is a way of carving out harmonics or subtracting harmonics of a waveform to alter the original sound. So in this case, a sine wave will not get affected much as it does not have much harmonic content, but other waves like saw, square or triangle will get altered with subtractive synthesis. So a recap, a waveform rich in harmonics goes through a filter which the user defines with the cutoff knob and alter the sound of the waveform. And there you have it. That's a subtractive synth in a nutshell. So now let's jump into what is an additive synthesizer. And for this, let's make use of a pink sheet. Why not? Let's take two waveforms generated by two different oscillators. One is oscillator 1 and oscillator 2. In this case, the first oscillator is a sine wave and the other oscillator is a square wave. And a sine wave by itself sounds like this. And a square wave sounds like this. If we add these two waveforms on top of each other, we will get a different, very unique sound which both of them individually can't produce. So the output wave signal will look somewhat like this. And it will sound like this. We can add multiple waveforms on top of each other and get very unique sounds. Since achieving this requires multiple oscillators, a digital synth or a plugin helps in getting these sounds seamlessly. So additive synthesis comes from the theory that unique sounds can be produced by adding multiple waves generated from multiple oscillators. We are essentially adding two or more waves to get a combined waveform with very unique characteristics and tone. So a recap, a waveform gets added to another to add to the existing harmonics, thus creating different sounds and a unique waveform. Then what's the difference between the two, and does these come as different synthesizers? So to understand, let's shift to a yellow sheet. Why not? So the biggest difference in simple terms is that the subtractive synthesis carves out or subtracts the harmonic content of a single waveform so that we get a very unique and warm tone. And an additive synthesis adds two or more waveforms and adds to the harmonics, and so that we get a very unique waveform and a very unique sound. And in all honesty, most of the digital synths out there are a combination of both subtractive and additive synthesizers. You can essentially add two or more waves to achieve an additive synthesis and then make use of subtractive controls like filter to carve out certain harmonic content of the summed up waveform. In modular synthesis, achieving this is a little difficult as you would require multiple modules of oscillators to get an additive synthesis, and then you would require a separate filter module to achieve a subtractive synthesis, not to mention other modules like envelope generator module or amplifier module, etc. So it's going to be cumbersome and expensive, something like this. Okay guys, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you found this helpful. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions regarding any of the concepts that we discussed. I'll be happy to get back to you. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you like what I do here and want to see much more videos like this, support the channel by subscribing. It goes a long way. And also, don't forget to press that bell so that you can stay updated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, cheers.